Hello and welcome to Pixel Symphonic, where we celebrate and learn about video game music with the people who make it, the people who listen to it, and everything in between. My name is Joe DeVader, and this is episode 5 of the show, and for this one, we're going to be doing something slightly different. We're going to sit down and talk to somebody about the music in a game series that they were not involved in. So, come with me, strap into your R-Wing and switch into all range mode, and let's start with some background. Just a couple weeks ago, Nintendo released Star Fox, a full remake of 1997's Star Fox 64, and the first major release in the series since Star Fox Zero just over a decade ago in 2016. Star Fox as a franchise has a very weird history to it, with one in particular being extremely notable for Nintendo music in particular. Did you know that Star Fox Assault for the GameCube was the first Nintendo title to feature a soundtrack recorded by a live orchestra? It's true. My guest this month is John Rairdin, director of Nintendo World Report and a video producer for the Video Game History Foundation. He is also, far and away, the biggest Star Fox fan I have ever met. And after a few posts on Blue Sky about the history and influences on the music of the series, I was pretty quickly convinced that he would be a great guest to have on. And I gotta say, good instincts. And you know what Peppy Hare has to say about trusting your instincts, right? All right, before we jump into the topic at hand that you're here for, I'm gonna ask the question that I'm opening every guest appearance with. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out the wording for that. And that is, how did you get into video games?
Get into video games. Well, the first video game that I can remember playing, which I guess is actually kind of relevant now that I think about it, is Mario Paint on the Super Nintendo, which is also how I got into like drawing and animation and I guess video game music, because that game had a music maker thingy
Hell
on
yeah,
it.
it did. People still use that to make music.
They do
to this day.
Yeah. And I definitely fumbled through, like, with no knowledge of how sheet music worked. Definitely fumbled through getting some video game music in that. And then after that, it was, Star Fox and Donkey Kong Country and Mario World and all that. But Mario Paint was the one I remember, the first game I can ever remember messing with as a kid.
Nintendo really liked putting like music maker things in games back then. One of my first guests for the show was a composer named Chase Bethia, and he talked about how some of his first stuff, his first compositions for music were inside Game Boy Camera.
Oh,
which had a music creation part
did
of it. Yeah, apparently.
Oh, okay.
I also did not know this until talking to him, but yeah, like I guess they just really like putting music stuff in their games, even where it doesn't really seem like it would belong.
Yeah, I feel like they haven't done it in a while. They could go back.
They could. I'm kind of sad that Mario Maker does not have any kind of music making. I mean, you can do music stages with the note blocks, and stuff, but like that's not really what I'm talking about.
Not like Mario Paint of just giving you like an actual staff and a bunch of like, because it's also like kind of how I came to understand like the intro to like MIDIs, like of like assigning different voices to things and all of that. Like you can learn a lot from that game as far as like my little brother is like an actual working musician, and that would also probably be his introduction to like video game music was Mario Paint.
So in terms of games, how big of a part is the music, listening to the music for you? Because for me, I'm somebody that like, no, games that can't play games on mute unless it's like a very specific kind of game. Like if it's something like Stardew Valley, I can play that without the music on sometimes, because usually if I'm playing that, I'm also watching something else, or like Power Wash Simulator. I don't need the sound on for that. but I have a roommate whom is the other side of the spectrum, whom I want to grab by the shoulders and shake all the time, because he is like, yeah, no, I'll just play games on mute. I don't need to
Ugh.
hear the game. And it's like, no, I'm gonna kill you. So where do you fall on that spectrum, I guess is the question.
So if the first time I play a game, I have to be able to hear it. And I think that comes from I really like video game music. There are times where if a game soundtrack's good enough, I'll go into the options and turn off the sound effects and maybe the
Yeah.
dialogue. Like there is a reality in which I just play with just the soundtrack. And I will, if I'm reviewing a game, I'll do that a lot. Because sometimes I'll need that music when I'm capturing so that I can use it in the review later. But it's kind of just nice to like hear that stuff uninterrupted. So it's a huge deal for me. If I'm going back and playing a game again, then it just depends on the game. But yeah, no, first time through the game, I hate playing with the volume down. I need to be able to hear it. It's extremely important.
Yeah, I was even at the point where, like, even if I'm on a bus or something, I have to have headphones. I have to hear the game. I can't just play it on mute. It just won't work.
You don't want to be that guy on the bus that just has his game turned up really loud with no headphones.
Look, everybody on the bus, I'm gonna play some goddamn Zelda, and
honestly,
you're gonna listen to the Clocktown theme.
That would be so much better than anything I have ever heard coming out of a phone from a guy on the bus. It's never Zelda.
Oh, never.
It's
never.
always like some wild like YouTube video or something about just something that you should be embarrassed that I'm hearing. And for some reason you're not.
I have my brother-in-law, whom I love dearly. I love my brother-in-law. In case he ever hears this, I doubt he will, but
this is his first episode. He's going to start on this episode.
He loves to watch TikTok and YouTube on his phone very loud with the speakers on.
I watch TikTok like when you turn up your phone and it goes from the first notch up from mute. That is my TikTok watching volume.
Yeah, his is quite higher than that.
Yeah.
And again, I love it. I love him to death. He's a great dude, but
yeah.
Whoo boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do it. Anyway, that I will say does mean that like I have a pair of Bluetooth headphones with me in my pocket at all times.
Yes.
For this reason. Because if I'm playing like handheld or something, even if I'm like a lot of times if I'm reviewing something and so like I'm playing handheld or like my wife is watching something on TV, I'll put in like a single earbud. So it's like I can still maybe even watch something, but I want to be cognizant of the music.
I am very much, I can't watch things if I'm playing unless it's like a game that is built for like,
it depends on the game.
Yeah. Like again, Power Wash Simulator, I'll watch a 4-hour YouTube video essay while I power wash a tiny miniature village. Like that's fine, but like I could never, especially like Pragmata is a game that I really enjoyed this year. I could not have played that. Not only because I would be really, really, really bad at it if I tried playing that while watching something, but just it's just a big part of the experience for me. I agree. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So we are here to talk about a very specific thing, a very specific game series and its music, because I met you. How long ago was that?
Oh dear God.
When was that? I want to say that was 2019, 2018.
That
when
sounds
I started.
Roughly. Okay. Did I hire you?
I think so. Because it was 2018 because
that would make sense. I took over the site at the beginning of 2018.
And then it was near the end of 2018, I'm pretty sure. And then me and Evelyn went to E3 in 2019 for the site.
Yeah.
And personally killed it.
Thank you for your service.
That's every time E3 comes up, I always like to say like, oh yeah, I went to the last one and killed it personally.
Did you guys kill E3? Yeah. What did it cost? Joe DeVader.
So I think that is correct. And one of the first things I learned about you was that you are possibly the biggest Star Fox fan I've ever seen in my life, ever. And like I had known people that liked Star Fox 64. I did not play Star Fox 64 until I was an adult.
I think I watched you play it for the first time.
You did, in fact.
It was
on a Twitch stream.
It was incredible.
It was quite
that's the word I'm going to use.
Yeah, that's a word that could technically be defined that way. But because when I was a kid, we had neighbors who had Star Fox 64, but we never played it over there. And I just didn't have, we didn't have our own copy of it. I don't know why. We had Donkey Kong 64 because we play only great games in my household.
Yeah.
And
which the night we're recording this, I think you can play it again.
I think it's 2 days from now, isn't it?
Is it? I thought it's either tonight or tomorrow night, because like the date they list is always wrong because it hits the US eShop like the night before.
Which, hey,
I don't remember.
Cannot believe how long that took.
I just assumed that Nintendo finally felt shame.
There's absolutely no way. They put Glover on that damn thing.
Like someone at Nintendo finally played DK64 and they were like, "Oh, we've been selling this to children. We can't do that."
I'm just looking forward to being able to play it with an N64 controller again, which I haven't been able to.
That'll make it is that is one of those games that feels very wrong on the wrong stick.
And I think Star Fox 64 is that too. Star Fox 64 feels so much better on an N64 controller than it feels on like a Wii U Pro controller, which is what I played it on for the first time.
Yeah, all of those. Yeah, the stick mapping on all the Wii U N64 was so bad.
Anything that needs the C buttons.
Yeah.
Is better on a controller with C buttons, it turns out.
Well, that came up because I was doing a video about kind of the level design of Corneria, and I got my wife to play the first level of Star Fox 64 because she had never played it before, so that I could record like somebody having that experience for the first time. And we decided, like, we kind of went back and forth of like, okay, do we play this on an N64 controller, which you're not familiar with, or do you play it on like a Switch 2 controller, which you are? And we wound up going with the Switch 2 controller. And yeah, those C buttons, that became a problem. I'm watching her like slightly miss the boost and like accidentally go into first person mode and panic. And it's a journey learning to play C button stuff on those controllers.
Fighting Star Wolf with that controller was hell.
Yeah.
Like personally,
if I can do it on a circle pad, you can do it on a Switch Pro controller.
See, I never played Star Fox 64 3D.
Oh, you have to play every single version of Star Fox 64. They're all so different and unique.
I mean, I don't think I ever heard your thoughts on this. I could ask about this later, but I don't think I ever heard your thoughts on our Star Fox Assault episode. Because Smashterpieces did do that one, too.
I listened to it. You bet your butt I listened to it. I don't think I had that. I mean, I think you were wrong about some things, but like, that's fine.
I'm often wrong about a lot of things, I find. It's
something about being a Star Fox fan is understanding that, and I feel like this is an area where I kind of relate to the Sonic fan base, even though their game is worse than mine. Is that like other people aren't gonna like if you like this series, you're clearly going into it for something other than what other people are going to it for. Otherwise, you wouldn't like them all. And that's okay. So if people don't jive with Star Fox Assault, even though there's an argument for it being the best one, that's fine. And the music's good, if nothing else. Which I don't think you hated the music.
I didn't. And we'll actually talk about Assault a little bit, in detail in a second. But so the reason I brought you on is, again, you're the biggest Star Fox fan that I know personally. And I had sort of been messing with the idea of bringing you on to talk about Star Fox music for like a week after the Switch 2 game was announced, because it seemed like a good time to do
Mm-hmm.
that. And then you did a thread on Blue Sky, pointing out the Holst
Yeah.
sort of inspirations behind a lot of Star Fox 64 specifically is
Mm-hmm.
like soundtrack. And I think that was a tipping point of like, yeah, no, this seems like a good idea. This seems like a really good uh, thing to bring up, because that thread is very interesting. If Do you mind going over a little bit about what you talked about in
Yeah,
said
let
thread?
me I gotta pull it back up so I can remember which specific whole songs I referenced. Because I'm not gonna be able to. I know Mars, but there's another one that Koji Kondo references. But the general what brought it up is ever since Star Fox 2026, which is what I'm calling it because they didn't put a subtitle on it.
Yeah, I hate
Um,
the title. I can't. I hate every
I
studio. Stop doing that, please.
as
I'm begging you,
as a
please.
from a marketing perspective, I get it, and especially with a game like Star Fox, where it has been dead like at least 3 times. Um, just calling it Star Fox and starting over, I do understand your logic, but I I hate that we don't have a specific name to call it. Also, I hate that you're using the Super Nintendo Star Fox logo on a remake for Star Fox 64. That
I
bothers me deeply.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
That's true.
it's
Oh
I
God.
like the logo, but it's the wrong one. Um, anyway, ever since that trailer came out, and I've seen a lot of people say with like the redone music and everything that oh, they're really leaning in to the John Williams Star Wars side of these songs, which I thought was weird because in my head, Star Fox 64 has always sounded like that. Like these new arrangements aren't taking that many liberties. Um, they're kind of just playing the N64 songs with an orchestra. And so I brought it up on like Blue Sky and Twitter because the thing about Koji Kondo's music in Star Fox, but you also hear it in like Mario 3 and in Ocarina of Time, is that he's really heavily influenced by an old composer named Gustav Holst, who's famous for doing a symphony called The Planets, where he wrote like a different song for every planet in the solar system, and essentially invented what we think of as like the modern sci-fi film score. Um, and John Williams, in his Star Wars music and in some of his other stuff, just shamelessly rips him off. Like John Williams is great, amazing composer. And I don't think he would argue with it. He's talked about it plenty, but he literally just takes things from Holst and uses them in Star Wars.
I do remember even as a kid feeling like it might be Mars that I'm thinking of,
Yeah,
that
probably.
like you listen to it and you're like, this is Star Wars.
Yeah, so Mars has the very like and Koji Kondo uses it too. Mars, if you've ever heard a song that has the like bum bum ba 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 bum bum ba 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 bum 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 rhythm to it, that's Mars. So John Williams uses it in Star Wars Episode 4 when the Millennium Falcon is being pulled into the Death Star. Koji Kondo used it in Mario 3 for the airship theme. They
Oh
both
yeah.
use that exact same song. Uh and so Star Fox uses a lot of those same influences. The thing that I point out in that thread, because you could totally look at that and say, oh, yes, Koji Kondo's stuff sounds like Holst because he's ripping off John Williams and John Williams was ripping off Holst. The interesting part is that Koji Kondo actually uh, rips stuff from Holst that John Williams doesn't. And so, like in Ocarina of Time, the Saria's song, Saria, however you say her name.
I've always said Saria, but I've
Yeah,
never
I have
heard it
no idea.
said out loud by a
Um,
person.
that song, the like da 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 da, that little bit is from Jupiter, like just straight up. that is a bit from another Holst song, which I just think is neat. Like if you listen to that album, you can hear a bunch of, yes, Star Wars, but then also a ton of Koji Kondo. Because turns out all of these music nerds like listening to old famous music nerds. I know this because I'm related to a lot of music nerds, and they all talk about Holst all the time. And that's the only reason I know this. I'm the least musically nerdy person in my family, and I can tell you about Holst, which should give you an idea of the general music level of nerdiness of my family.
And so I thought that was an extremely interesting thing to bring up. And also, I knew this beforehand, but I learned it a few years ago through my other show, Original Sound Chat, because we did Star Fox Assault at one point. Peter, my co-host, is the one that brought that, and I did not know before then that Star Fox Assault is actually, as far as I'm aware, the first Nintendo game to feature an orchestrated soundtrack.
Yes, with like an actual live orchestra. Yeah.
Like we typically that credit is given to Mario Galaxy because that's the one more people have played. I'm sorry, but that's just the case.
Hot take.
But no, it was Star Fox Assault on the GameCube. Before that, like, there was an orchestrated soundtrack for a Star Fox game before a Zelda game, before a Mario game. And that's fascinating, I think, and is something that I genuinely, before that episode of OSC, had never heard anybody talk about ever.
Yeah, and I do wonder. I guess I don't know, and I don't know that anyone's really talked about it. I kind of wonder what side that came from. Like, if the Nintendo side was like, Star Fox is a game that could use an orchestral soundtrack, or if it was like Bandai Namco's, a lot of those guys were like Ace Combat guys. If they went, or I guess not Bandai Namco at the time, just Namco. If they went, hey, we know orchestra dudes. This has a very, classical cinematic soundtrack. Let's do orchestra. I wonder which side that came from.
If I was a betting man, I'd say probably, if it's Ace Combat like devs, I would say probably them, because I've never played an Ace Combat game, but I am told that those games have transcendent soundtracks.
Oh, the most recent one is one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time. Like, just the main theme of it is amazing. I really hope the new one gets a Switch 2 port at some point, because it was very great excuse to replay that game when it came out on Switch. And the soundtrack, if you want to talk about games where you turn off all the sound effects and just listen to the music, Ace Combat, absolutely 100%.
One of these days I will play an Ace Combat game eventually.
They're good. And when I interviewed the guys about the Switch port, I asked them, I was like, are there any Nintendo games you would be interested in working on? They were like, Star Fox. And I was like, good. You took the bait.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, so I bring that up to just to show that, like, Star Fox does have a very interesting musical history, even just within Nintendo.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bring you here to tell me about Star Fox music, because if anybody can do it, it's you.
Is that the launch? Do I just go now and tell you all about it?
Yeah, I am down with that. I do not have a transition. I'm trying to think of one. I do not have one.
Great. Well, so I was thinking about songs to talk about on this, and my initial thought was like, I should just pull a song from every Star Fox game, and we could totally do that if there's time. But because Star Fox 2026 is coming out, and it theoretically has a largely remastered soundtrack, though it does have some new stuff, as we've already heard on the sample that's on the Nintendo Music app,
which is very good so far. Good. By the way, I really like the stuff that they dropped on the.
I was specifically kind of going through that soundtrack, because I was like, okay, what's my favorite Star Fox 64 song? And it's Zonus. Or Zoness, as I think they say in the trailer, which is not how I would have said that, but fine. Because it's very, and in my head I like it because it's very it has like a somber sadness to it. It's not like if you listen to like the original Star Fox soundtrack, it's very much a shmup soundtrack. It's, you know, you get the vibes of like electric guitars and anime. Like that is the vibe of the original Star Fox. But then Star Fox 64, I think more so than being a Star Warsian or anything like that, is like there's a kind of like sadness to it. And I was thinking about that for Zonus and had the thought that in the context of the game, when you get to that level, you are sort of hitting the point in the story where you're getting to planets that Andross has already destroyed. And so there is that feeling in the music. And that made me go, okay, wait, if I go back, and this is literally stuff I just like today. I was like, if I go back through that soundtrack, and kind of break it down narratively, like, how does this thing actually progress? And this is going to get very deep into a combo of music and Star Fox lore.
I'm excited. I'm down.
Great. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, concept of Star Fox 64. Andross has come from Venom. He's pushed his way across the Lilat system, turned it into a wasteland of near extinction, as the intro says. And like the last bastion of survival is on Corneria. And Star Fox is called in, and the whole story is you are fighting your way back. And so when you start on Corneria, the stakes aren't that high because like you're there, the army is there, they're holding. Like there's action in that song, but it's okay. Everything's going to be fine on Corneria. Corneria is then sort of ringed by Meteo, the asteroid field. You have military bases on Ficina or Fortuna, if you have the original like mistranslated version, and Katina, and then you have the like Cornerian Armada holding at Sector Y. You get to all those songs, and those are action packed, and they're exciting. You get past that, and that's when you start getting into like Zonus, and Sector X, and those songs are like sad and a little creepy sometimes, especially Sector X. And because now you're past the front line and you're into the wasteland of near extinction that Andross has already destroyed. And the game stays either like sad or kind of like things aren't going well from that point on through the end of the game, except for Sector Is that what it's called? I always forget. It's the one that doesn't have a name. I better get that right or I'll get in trouble. Area 6. That's why it sounded wrong.
Area 6. Yeah. I should know that because that song's in Smash like 4 times.
It is. So when you get to Area 6, that is the point at the game in which if you hit Area 6, you are on the good ending. Every other thing leads to the bad ending. But if you hit Area 6, it is now impossible for you not to get the good ending of the game. And in Area 6, the entire tone of the soundtrack changes to you're still in danger, but now you're a hero and it's exciting and you're going to do it. Like there is this shift mentally in how the music works when you hit Area 6.
Like it feels like you're turning everything around.
Yes, like you have gone from, oh, this is bad. Like we may be winning these fights, but it's not good. Even like the like mission accomplished theme song has never struck me as like, hooray, you did it. It always had this tone more in my mind of like, whew, okay, well, we didn't die. Like it feels more of like relief than it does celebration. So yeah, you hit Area 6 and it's exciting. You go down and you have a final battle with Wolf, and that's exciting. Then you go and fight Andross and you win. But it had never occurred to me until literally putting like song picks together for this, how well scored that game is, not just in a like, here's the music for the asteroid level, but like as far as like how the music is telling a story about what you are doing and can change based on what route you're on, which is wild to me and I think is really cool. None of the other games in the series do that. It's just Star Fox 64.
I don't think I ever noticed that either. That's a really, really good observation.
It's so, until I sat down, it was just like, holy crap, like this is, because that is, I have always liked Zonus just because it's like, I don't know, it's Zonus has this really cool, just like sad build and then like hits this really like powerful bit at the end before it loops back around to quiet.
I think I remember it. This is vague memories, but I think I remember Zonus being one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack.
It's so good.
And I also like Area 6.
Yeah.
I think that song absolutely slaps. That whole soundtrack is great, but that's a new light to see that score. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, and I can't wait to, like, Zonus is one that I can't wait to get the Star Fox 2026 version of, because they did a really good job with it in Star Fox 64 3D, because they didn't like to give that one a full symphony treatment, but they're like, we can do better MIDI than an N64 can, so they like nicely touched them up there. And I've really liked how they've done the 2026 soundtrack so far. One very nerdy thing that I think they nailed is the main menu song. Which might be one of the best songs in the entire Star Fox series, because to me, it doesn't sound like the song you would expect the main menu of a Star Fox game to have. I feel like you would expect, like, you know, the Star Fox theme or something like militaristic or exciting. Mm-hmm. And the main menu song is almost sad. Like, and this, the 2026 version is one of the few arrangements of that that I've ever heard actually understand that, like, no, this is somber. This isn't lo-fi or like spacey. It's a somber song because you are about to go into a galaxy that has been absolutely wrecked and almost everyone is dead, because that is the plot of this game.
And I think that is hopefully a good sign that maybe the who do we know who's doing the music
We don't know
yet?
who's making the game.
That's
Like, it's which to me means it's definitely someone internal to Nintendo, because if it, like, I've seen people throw in like, oh, maybe it's Ubisoft. I'm like, no, if it was Ubisoft,
We would know.
Ubisoft would be telling you about it. My guess is that it's Next Level Games,
I
because
can see that.
they have like a 3-year dev cycle and it's been 4. So they owe a game, and they make really, really, really pretty games, and have a history of taking dead Nintendo franchises and trying to do a new one. So that's my guess, is that it's Next Level Games. I've seen people throw Retro around too, which is a wild thing to think that Retro is making this and Metroid Prime 4 at the same time.
I don't think I believe that for a second.
No.
At all.
No.
But I could see Next Level for sure. But I do agree that the fact that we don't know means that it is somebody that is internal to Nintendo.
And it's like, for, if you're listening and you're not as familiar with Nintendo politics, like, we have a Nintendo PR rep at Nintendo World Report that we can talk to, and we could just ask her, hey, who's making this? And I can promise you she won't tell me. It shouldn't be a secret. There's no other company where this is a secret, but Nintendo will keep it a secret.
Nintendo is famously very cagey about letting anybody see into their process ever in any way, which I've been told is like one of the main reasons why the Nintendo talk at GDC every year is like the one to go to, because it's basically the time that you get to see inside of their process. And it's on the subject of music, this has been kind of I like the Nintendo Music app. I think it is very good that it exists. It is something that I've been saying Nintendo should be doing for years, and I'm glad they finally did it. It is complete bullshit that it does not list who composed this music at all. And I know they know how to do it, because one of the big resources that we used to use on Original Sound Chat, and one that I still use to this day when I'm curious about something, is VGMDB, the Video Game Music Database, which is a site that is super cool, that is dedicated to chronicling and archiving physical releases of game music, where they take the liner notes and they put all the liner notes information down there and everything. And when Nintendo releases a physical disc of a soundtrack, they put who did the music. They credit per track. And the fact that they do not do that on this app is infuriating.
It's wild.
It does not make sense to me.
But it absolutely fits with the kind of Nintendo mentality of games aren't made. We just birth them.
They just appear.
Yeah. From our mind vaginas.
As Athena from the head of Zeus. Donkey Kong Bonanza just showed up one day.
Yep.
Like, it's so stupid and backwards. And like I said, Nintendo's the only one who still, like, sometimes you'll get on a Spotify release of a Capcom soundtrack, they'll still put Capcom Sound Team. And that also sucks, by the way. That is also a bad practice that should not happen. But it's usually not hard to go find who did tracks in a Capcom game.
And it even extends to to their movies. Like I remember seeing when the first Mario movie came out, and it gets to the end and it's like music by Koji Kondo. And I'm like, there were objectively songs pulled from Mario games that weren't by Koji Kondo in this soundtrack.
I remember a big thing for that movie was Grant Kirkhope saying, yeah, they used the DK rap, and they did not credit. I did not get any credit.
I think they used samples of his vocals.
Yeah.
I think Grant Kirkhope's voice is in that movie.
And he's not in the credits, and that's really stupid.
No. It's so bad. Well, and the actual like soundtrack release, which has all of the music that they would later replace with 80s pop songs for the kids, has a bunch of like David Wise Donkey Kong music on it. He ain't credited either.
Oh boy. But anyways, back to Star Fox.
Yeah.
At the very least, while we do not know who is doing the music, it does seem like it is in good hands. And I think your observation of the menu theme sort of seeming to get it does point to them possibly having the same observation that you had looking into this about how that score is, how it proceeds through the game.
Well, it's this seems like a wildly simple thing to say, but it's scored like a movie. Like it's not just scored based on, like, when you get to Titania, it's not like they just score it like the desert planet and use desert instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's scored to fit where that scene happens in the game.
And I know that there are a lot of people, I've seen a lot of this, especially in the video game music space, that kind of see the idea of scored like a movie as like a bad thing.
Sure. Well, I definitely get the like I am someone who, here my hot take is that video games shouldn't emulate movies because video games are a more capable storytelling medium than a movie ever could be.
100%.
So I get that, like I don't like Uncharted. I don't like Last of Us, or I don't like a lot of like really cinematic like games that focus more on their story than on the game. Games that try to be a movie don't really resonate with me. So when I say scored like a movie, I mean treating a level as a scene. Like treating a level as a, I've talked to Evelyn about this. Like in Super Metroid, the like lava area theme is dramatic because you're like going to fight Ridley. And so it's like the music fits that scene. But then in later Metroid games, when they just use that as the lava music, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Or as we like to describe it, the theme of Hot Place.
Yes, exactly. Like it, like that music was to score a very specific moment in the game, and removed from that, it loses all of that. So it's not exclusive to Star Fox or anything, but games like level-based games like this, I don't feel like they often do that to this degree.
I would agree with that. I think it is a very interesting way to go about it, because there is a problem, especially in video games of Star Fox 64's era. There is a tendency to, well, this is the desert place, so it has to, we got to put in the sitar, and you need the I don't know what that flute, the wind instrument is called, but you know the one that I'm talking about.
But we all know what it sounds like. Yep.
Or like, oh, this is the volcano and it needs to sound like a volcano, and like,
as opposed to saying, well, what's happening in the desert?
Yeah, so it is very interesting to look at Star Fox 64 and see that as a game whose score doesn't really fall into those traps, because it really doesn't. I think the only song that kind of almost sounds a little bit like, well, this is what this kind of level should sound like, is probably Aquas.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
And that's the only one that really comes to mind in terms of that, because Aquas does sound like an underwater level.
Yeah. Yeah. It does, like, it definitely still has, it does a good job of being mysterious but pretty, which is definitely what that level is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely not, I guess if I would almost give Aquas a score more like Sector X, where you fight the Spyborg that like knocks Slippy down onto Titania. That one has this very, very creepy song, which makes sense because in the context of the story, they're like going to this base where a weapon's being developed. They get there and the base is in ruins and they don't know what happened. So like that song makes sense. I kind of wish Aquas had a little bit more of that sound to it, because I think that has a similar tone, because you're going to find this bioweapon hidden in the ocean and it's like it's dark. Like you're the only light you have is from your torpedoes. I think treating that level as a little creepier would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Maybe that is the direction they'll go. Who knows?
Indeed.
All right, what else? What else do you have for me for this? We've spent the past like 20 minutes on Star Fox 64.
Sure.
And I mean, for good reason. It is still like, it is the best game in the series. And I'm one of those people that was sort of like, really doing another Star Fox 64 remake, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man. I've warmed up to the idea. I think it seems like it's going to be cool, and I'm now like doubly warmed up with this this talk. Like,
I had this moment of like watching that direct where they, whoever it was, Miyamoto, I don't remember who it was, but they're like, it's based on Star Fox 64, and I said out loud like, oh god damn it, like again.
Well, because that's the joke that is always, that's the
yes.
joke that's always made, is that like, oh, there's a new Star Fox game, but it's actually just Star Fox 64 again.
Yep. But then they got into it and like showed the characters, and I was like, whoa, they were given artistic freedom. Okay. And then they're like, yeah, we're adding a bunch of like, we're expanding the story and adding a bunch of new cutscenes. And I was like, oh, all right, never mind. I am in fact into this. Like, I don't want just Star Fox 64, but if you want to give me Star Fox 64 extended director's cut,
yeah, because the direction I was coming at it with at first was just like, but I've played Star Fox 64. I don't want to spend $70 to play Star Fox 64 again.
Yeah. If it helps, it's only 60. Which by today's standards
helps more than it should.
I hate that $60 is a budget title.
Yeah.
That makes me feel bad.
Yeah, oh god. But it turns out, as some people might not know, there are other games in the Star Fox series.
There are. And I don't have as in-depth thoughts on their narrative musical collaboration, but I will call out some cool things. And I want to I got to call it a Star Fox Zero song, because nobody else is going to talk about Star Fox Zero.
You are. This is a look behind the curtain at my other show, Smashterpieces. You are and have been from almost day one down as who will be the guest when we get to Star Fox Zero, because as Evelyn describes it, somebody has to be in that game's corner.
So here's the cool thing. As soon as people disliked the art style for Star Fox 2026, suddenly they were all about Star Fox Zero. Like, god damn it. Like, no.
That sounds like the internet.
Yep.
I've warmed up to the new designs. I didn't like them at first.
Legitimately, I love the new designs. I think they look... I have a rant on that too, but it's not music related. So I feel like I should focus down the music rants first. But there's a song in Star Fox Zero, which famously yet another reimagining of the Lilat Wars story, just like Star Fox 64 was to the original Star Fox. Because this we love a Lilat Wars.
Apparently, it's that Lilat War. The Lilat Wars are that universe's version of, you know how like all the old people in our world are just obsessed with World War II.
Yeah,
it's that.
Yeah, everybody when you turn 30, you get really into the Lilat Wars or like wood carving. Those are your options. But Star Fox Zero did a cool thing where, because it very much has the same structure as Star Fox 64, where like levels have different endings and you kind of chart your own course through the game. It did a cool thing where you're at the end, you're approaching Venom, and then that game is all about like this like weird portal technology. Venom disappears, and everybody's like, "What?" And then you get a communication from General Pepper where he's like, "Crap, Andros is here," and you go rushing back to Corneria. And the first, like the opening stage of that game on Corneria has a Corneria theme that very much feels in keeping with Corneria themes of the past. But this revisit, you get there again, and like now Corneria is like burning, which is it's a take on the level that feels very new. And suddenly the music is a whole lot less, yeah, we're Star Fox, we're gonna save the day, and it's like, oh crap, the planet's on fire. And it's so good. That game's soundtrack, despite largely being original music, which I don't think gets enough praise, Star Fox is definitely one of those series, kind of like some of the Zelda stuff, where it reuses music a lot.
A lot. Like a lot of Assault's music is just 64 music, but orchestrated.
But Star Fox Zero is a predominantly almost exclusive, like outside of, the Star Fox theme, it's a predominantly original soundtrack. And that the Corneria 2 theme is so good. It's just it's got, once again, kind of like Star Fox 64, it has a little bit of a sadness to it, a little bit of a like, oh, this isn't a fun heroic journey, things are bad, yo.
Like this is the front line of a war.
Yeah. And I honestly, to kind of bring that back to 2026, I think the look of 2026 will fit that a lot better than what has become the gradual cartoonification of the Star Fox characters that we've had, and it's all Sakurai's fault. Sakurai ruined Star Fox. Send tweet.
But if we didn't get that, then we wouldn't get Kid Icarus Uprising.
It's true. Kid Icarus Uprising being one of the best Star Fox games.
Kind of, yeah, actually, legitimately. I think Kid Icarus Uprising does what Assault tried to do better than Assault does.
100%. Absolutely. There is no one who I want to make a Star Fox game more than Sakurai.
I think
the problem is I know Sakurai well enough that I don't think he would be willing to just make Kid Icarus Uprising but Star Fox. He would have to do something different.
I mean, he doesn't even want to make Kid Icarus Uprising, but on a system that doesn't make your wrists want to explode.
You know what? So... I there's a tangent. So there's an old interview with Sakurai where he's talking about Kid Icarus Uprising, and somebody asked him like, how come you can't use the Circle Pad Pro as just a second analog stick like a normal ass controller? And he's like, oh, we tried that and it doesn't work. Hey, so I've emulated Kid Icarus Uprising on a normal ass controller. It works really well.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It plays so much better that way.
How it
Sakurai,
could possibly not work. That game was built for dual analog sticks, and the fact that it is not on the Switch is a crime.
I played that game by mapping. I put aiming on the circle pad because you can do that, and then I mapped moving to the face buttons so that I could sort of play it like a dual analog game. Because even I, as somebody who likes weird control, I like Star Fox Zero. I like weird controls. Kid Icarus Uprising is a disaster in the control department.
That game,
while being a very good game.
That game is incredible. It would kick so much ass on a console that can actually play it.
Yeah,
like, oh my, it just feels like a no-brainer to me. But that's it, like I said, that is a tangent, and maybe one day. But I feel like if he's not even willing to put that to like help port that, there's no way he would work.
He's got to make sequels to his poorly received Kirby racing game.
I mean, there's already rumors that they're forcing him into the Smash mines again. So I don't believe those.
I mean, is it? I feel like Kirby Air Raiders is exactly what Kid Icarus was.
They always let him out for one game.
Congrats, you made us a bunch of money. You may have one game.
All right, back into the mines with you, sir.
Yeah. What's wild is that he was given his once every 20 years game, and he went with Kirby Air Raiders. What a wild choice.
He's a weird man.
He is. But he's also the entirety of Xbox's sales in Japan, so they need it.
I'm sure Kojima owns an Xbox.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Kojima has... It's just him and Kojima. Buying every time you get a sales report from Xbox, it's like, we sold 2 things.
Are they the same 2 people? Yep, every time. Yep.
Oh, I love when... I don't think they do this anymore. They used to give actual sales numbers for all the platforms in Japan, and it would be like, Nintendo, however many thousand, Sony, however many thousand, Xbox, 70, and you're like, 70,000? Like, no, 70. Oh.
Ooh. Boy.
Okay.
Ooh. I can't imagine why they would stop doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. What other Star Fox stuff is there? You can't
ask me that question. That's not...
I can give you another favorite that I have no narrative or lore significance for, which is just the Fortuna theme from Star Fox 2. One cool thing about that theme, and this is actually true of all the music in Star Fox 2, all the like planet themes, is because of the way that game works, you would go down to a planet and fly over it and do stuff there, and that would have one version of the music. And then when you would go into the base on that planet, it would transition to a different version. So the Fortuna theme, if I'm remembering right, you come in and it's very like upbeat and heroic and exciting. And then when the bass pops up and you go down to the bass, it transitions into like a minor key and becomes a lot more ominous, but it's like still the same underlying music. And all of the planet themes do that, but I think Fortuna just does it really, really, really well. That's all I have to say about that one. It's just neat.
I forgot Star Fox 2 existed until you mentioned.
So did Nintendo for roughly 20 years.
I legitimately forgot that they did actually put that game out.
Have you ever sat and listened to the soundtrack of it?
I have not actually.
It turns out Super Nintendo games, good soundtracks, those things.
I have listened to the original Star Fox soundtrack a good bit, particularly because the SNES games version of Corneria is in Smash, and that was the first time that I heard the remix, in Brawl was the first time that I had heard that theme. So I have listened to that soundtrack, but I have never sat down and listened to Star Fox 2, actually, now that I think about it.
Though bringing up the Corneria theme, have you ever heard that theme compared with, it was one of the what's Sega's fighter jet game?
Oh,
The sprite scaling.
I feel like I should know this.
Yeah, I'm totally blanking on the name of it. It is not an obscure game.
It's completely gone.
Sega Afterburner. So there is a song, I don't remember if it's Afterburner 1 or 2. These came out before Star Fox. That is suspiciously similar to the Corneria theme. And I'm pretty sure the Corneria theme just ripped it off and then got popular enough that nobody ever really noticed that it was just sort of taken from an Afterburner game.
I mean, that's back in the day when you could just take whatever you wanted from Sega and they wouldn't do anything.
It would not be the only totally copywritten song that's in a random Nintendo game. And at least it's from like another Nintendo or another video game and not, like the Beatles or something crazy like that.
Oh, if it was the Beatles, we wouldn't be having this conversation because Nintendo would be a crater.
Right.
There would be no Nintendo. We would never have met.
Wasn't there, was it Earthbound or something that had some music from?
So the theory for a long time was that a song from Earthbound sounded very similar to the song Johnny Be Good.
That's okay.
And that the song was some sort of legal thing that was what was keeping Earthbound from being put on Virtual Console, the Wii Virtual Console.
Okay. Yeah,
I believe this was disproven at one point. And the actual reason was that they kind of figured that nobody would buy Earthbound in America on Virtual Console, which given how that game, I can't blame them for feeling that way, given how that game performed when it originally came out. They were wrong, obviously, even as somebody that I don't like Earthbound. I think that game sucks. Yeah. Even I will admit that they were wrong. People absolutely, that game had become a cult hit by that point.
Right.
But that was, I think that is what you're thinking of, is that was a theory.
That sounds right. Yeah, there was some classic rock and roll song that I knew was tied up with Earthbound, or at least allegedly.
But then it came out on Wii U Virtual Console, and that my favorite ClickHole article ever, not ClickHole, was it a Hard Drive article before Hard Drive sucked? Was the big fan of Earthbound excited to play it for the first time?
I don't know how many times in my life I have referenced that headline, because
such
one
a
of
good
the greatest
headline. It's so good.
Yeah. I've been amazed how many people with Fox McCloud as their profile picture are excited to play Star Fox 64 for the first time. And this is something that I found, and I think this is true, once again, sorry, Sonic fandom, you're going to get dragged under with me, but any game where there is a strong furry contingent tied to it,
100%.
There's a large percentage of that fan base that has never played a game, or if they did, it was just the one with Crystal in it. There's a weirdly large portion of the Star Fox fan base that only likes the one that nobody theoretically likes, which I did not realize until I started hanging out in Discords and stuff like that with people talking about Star Fox. It's like, oh, there is the GameCube era stuff has its own fan base that I didn't really realize existed until I got here. It was like, oh, okay, people actually do like those. Cool. Some of them like it for very different reasons than I do, but that's fine. No shade. I've seen a bunch of people talking about, because Nintendo mentioned Star Fox Adventures in the Star Fox 2026 Direct for some reason. I don't know why. People are like, oh, they're going to remaster that one next. And my hope for those people is that, yes, they remaster Star Fox Adventures with this exact same art style, and we get just the most terrifying version of Crystal. I want that real bad.
Unfortunately, I think it's more likely that Star Fox Adventures is just going to show up on NSO.
I do too. I will say I did resolution count the shot that they showed, and it was not running on NSO in that shot, which would have been a dead giveaway, and I didn't expect them to do that, but I figured it was worth checking.
I am surprised that wouldn't be like. I would be surprised if around the time that this comes out, either Assault or Adventures shows up on NSO.
They are running out of, like, now that we're getting DK64, they are running out of hated Rare titles.
That's true.
To put on NSO. So
they already put Banjo-Tooie on there, and that game is
true.
Terrible.
Honestly, like once you have Banjo-Tooie and DK64 on there, Star Fox Adventures, I think, starts to not look so bad. It's totally fine. Honestly, I would probably throw Conquer in that pile too, but people like Conquer for some reason.
So a long time ago, Evelyn and I collabed on a video for NWR about Terry Bogard, because Terry Bogard had been announced for Smash.
I remember this.
And nobody knew who the hell he was.
Yeah.
Because he is popular in Japan and South America, and that's it. And that character was for South America, and a lot of Americans just could not understand that.
Yeah.
And we were going to do one about Banjo and Kazooie and the history of Rare. This video was completely written. I had gone through and played every single game that Rare had ever made to get footage.
Jesus.
Like almost every single one. Minus like a few of their licensed titles, which we had a friend go get footage for us. Conquer was one of them. I'd never played Conquer's Bad Fur Day. And I'm pretty fine having never touched it again since then. It's not very good.
It had a lot of shock value. And I will say that on a technical level, the things it's pulling off on an N64, very impressive. Totally shit platformer.
It's not. And this is coming from somebody that likes Donkey Kong 64. Like, I love Donkey Kong 64. And I thought I liked Banjo-Tooie until we replayed it for Smashterpieces.
The idea of Banjo-Tooie is nice. I can totally get Banjo-Tooie being one that you remember liking until you play it.
Like, I remembered really, really liking Banjo-Tooie when I first played it. And it's not even that I played it as a kid. I played that game as an adult. I didn't own Banjo-Kazooie or Tooie as a kid.
Yeah.
And then we played it for Smashterpieces, and it was like, this game's not good.
No.
It's not good.
No, I will say with Banjo-Tooie, which I don't know that I can say about DK64, with Banjo-Tooie, I think you could make it good. Like, I think there are some quality of life changes you could make that would really turn that game around.
I can name a few. First of all, I think the levels are too big.
They're massive.
They're too big. And then every single, like, the amount of work you have to do to get one Jiggy in Banjo-Tooie would have gotten you like 4 in Banjo-Kazooie.
It's like the reverse Mario Odyssey problem.
Yeah,
Mario Odyssey has inflation where it's like every time you take a step, they're like, here's 7 moons.
It is exactly that, where it's like in Banjo-Kazooie, you would get Jiggy. Like, it's not like they were handing Jiggies out for free.
Yeah,
but they were like, here's the one thing you need to do to get this Jiggy. Congrats, you did it.
Yeah, the serotonin drip was more regular.
And in Tooie, it's just like, all right, well, first you got to go talk to this person, and then you got to go do this thing, and then you got to go do that, and then you got to go press this button, and then the Jiggy will appear, but you still have a whole list of things you got to do before you actually get it.
Banjo-Tooie, I've never gotten lost that much in a 3D platformer.
Same.
Like, it's just it needs like a Metroid Prime style map.
Great music though.
Great music.
Very good music.
That Grant Kirkhope guy.
He's good. He's good at his job.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, Grant, I've emailed you. Can you be on? I would love to talk to you. I really would. I think it'd be fun. I'm like the one defender of DK64 that exists. That's not like a weird speedrunner freak. It's fine.
Yeah. He'll even credit you if you appear on the episode and everything.
Yeah. I'll credit you every time.
That would be the most incredible Grant Kirkhope guest spot joke, is if you just at no point during the episode or in the title reference Grant Kirkhope's name.
And you, whoever you are, who showed up in my in my recording room.
Yeah.
I hear you've worked on. Let me see if I've got this name right. Donkey King.
Donkey King.
John, this has been a lot of fun, and this actually episode has been a good deal longer than they usually are, and I'm perfectly happy with that, because I think that this conversation has been a lot of fun, and I'm very happy with my decision to bring you on to talk about this, because I think it was a banger.
And we did spend at least 50% of the time talking about something Star Fox related.
Yeah, and that's a new record for me. I'm famously great at staying on topic, as anybody will tell you.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for doing this. I had a blast, and now I'm going to be thinking about the Star Fox 64 soundtrack in an entirely new light.
Yay.
Which is not something I expected to come out of this saying.
Yeah, we're all transformed. Like I said, this was not a well thought out thing. It was a thing I thought about half an hour before we started recording.
And it works. Like, it works really well. I'm very excited for people to hear about it. Where can people find your things?
Oh boy. You can find me at NintendoWorldReport.com and our YouTube channel, Nintendo World Report TV. You can find me on Blue Sky, or I still hang out on X for some reason, mostly because I enjoy writing community notes on the White House's posts. But I'm JTSKNIGHT92, JTS992 on any of those, or just look up John Rairdin. There's like only one of me, so I'm pretty easy to find. And then occasionally you can also find me on the Video Game History Foundation's YouTube channel, because I work part-time for them as well. So I'm all over the place. Look for Star Fox, and there you will find me.
Or games that are like Star Fox.
Or games that are like, if a ship flies forward and shoots and occasionally rolls, I've probably talked about it.
I have bad news for you about part of Kingdom Hearts.
I've heard, so that is the thing, that I have not played Kingdom Hearts. I have seen the gummy ship stuff, and I've gone, is it worth playing Kingdom Hearts just for that?
It is not worth playing Kingdom Hearts 1 just for that, because the gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts 1 is dull. The gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts 2, genuinely really, really fun arcade shooter, though it's much, much more arcadey than something like Star Fox.
Sure. I need a mod that just lets me skip straight to... I just want those. I want the opposite of a randomizer, where it's very not randomized. It's specifically just feeding me into those parts and skipping everything else.
It is really funny that you mentioned randomizer, because I play Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizers a lot, and they rip those out.
Oh,
I have not played a Kingdom Hearts 2 gummy ship level in several years, but they are rad.
Well, the fact that they've been isolated for that means that, in theory, they can be isolated. You could make a randomizer that's just gummy ship levels.
The mod you're looking for could be out there.
Yeah.
And also you get to hear Donald Duck talk sometimes during them. And that's just... Look, if I had a choice between hearing Slippy Toad or Donald Duck, I don't know what choice I'd make on that, but...
I've grown attached to Slippy. I feel nothing for Donald Duck.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Godspeed.
Goodbye.
And that does it. That's a wrap for this episode of Pixel Symphonic. Special thanks to this month's guest, John Rairdin. Make sure you check out Nintendo World Report. They do good work over there, and I'm not just saying that because I used to write for them. Also, I know it goes without saying, but when we talked about not knowing things about the new game, just know that this episode was recorded a few weeks before it released. We here at Pixel Symphonic do not yet have the ability to peer into the future from the past, though it'd be pretty neat if we did. For instance, we have, since recording, learned the game was made by Valen Studios and its soundtrack was arranged by Stephen Barton, who previously worked with Respawn on series such as Titanfall and Star Wars Jedi. Mysteries then, answered now, time is amazing. And speaking of time, next month we'll be talking to a creator that I've been a fan of for many years, Derek Alexander of Stop Skeletons from Fighting. Uncle Derek has been a source of joy in the game space for as long as I've followed him, even going back to his origins as the happy video game nerd many eons ago. He's a super nice dude and was very fun to talk to, even if I feel like I disappointed him at one point with my feelings on Earthbound. But it's okay. You should look forward to it. If you would like to keep updated on Pixel Symphonic, you can follow the show on Blue Sky at pixelsymphonic.bsky.social. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can find it on patreon.com/pixelsymphonic, where for just $1 a month, you can get episodes 1 full week early. Except for this one, which had to come out a few days late because of health issues. Sorry about that. You can also find Pixel Symphonic and my other show, Smashterpieces, at anondino.squarespace.com. If you liked this episode and you have a minute, it'd be a great help if you could leave a comment and rate us on your podcatcher of choice, or if you have a friend you think might like the show, point them in our direction. Every little bit helps, and I'd really appreciate it. Our logo was designed by Annika Weller. The music featured in this episode was Candy Step and Midnight Trip by Nor, Zonus, Corneria, Katina, Sector X, Area 6, Titania, and Macbeth and Aquas by Hajime Wakai, Mission Accomplished by Koji Kondo, Main Menu, originally composed by Koji Kondo and arranged by Stephen Barton, Return to Corneria by Rei Kondo, as well as Fortuna and Fortuna Inside by Kozue Ishikawa and Yumiko Kanki. To play us out, there's one song from Star Fox 64 that is very good and is a fan favorite that didn't get a clip in the episode because there wasn't really a spot to place it, even though it got briefly mentioned at one point. So it kind of just felt right to go ahead and put it in here. So I'm going to play us out with Star Wolf from Star Fox 64, composed by Hajime Wakai. Please enjoy. Thank you for listening. I'll see you again next month. Stay safe out there.